The night sky over Delta 9 was a cold sheet of silver dust. The streets below quiet except for the hum of the old energy lamps. Among the piles of broken metal and old scraps, a little alien girl moved carefully. Her name was Lyra. Small, fragile, and no older than 10 human years. Her big violet eyes glowed faintly in the dark as she searched through garbage bins behind an abandoned shop. Her thin hands trembled as she lifted a rusted plate. It wasn't food she was looking for. It was something special, something shiny, something that could make her mother smile. Tomorrow was her mother's birthday, and in their poor alien colony, gifts were only dreams. A soft wind blew dust over her torn clothes. Lyra pulled her cloak tighter. Her mother had fallen sick days ago. They had no medicine, no credits, and barely any food. Yet Lyra's heart was full of hope. From the shadow of a nearby building, a human watched. His name was Aaron, a mechanic who lived alone on the edge of the colony. He had come to this planet to fix mining machines but had stayed longer than he planned. The galaxy wasn't kind to humans, not after the wars. Most aliens saw them as dangerous, unpredictable. But when Aaron saw the little alien girl digging through trash, something in him stirred. He remembered the war's aftermath on Earth, the hunger, the children searching for hope in ruins. He stepped closer. "What are you looking for, kid?" His voice echoed softly. Lyra froze. Her heart raced. No one talked to her in the colony except her mother. She turned slowly, her voice a whisper. I'm searching the trash for a birthday gift for my mom, human." The word human came out like a secret. She looked afraid. Her people didn't trust humans. Stories of humans destroying worlds had reached every ear. But Aaron just stood there, surprised. The innocence in her voice broke through his hardened heart. He crouched down beside her. "You don't have to search here. Kid, come on, I've got some stuff in my shop. Maybe we can find something better there." Lyra shook her head. "No, I can't. Mom says never to go with strangers. Especially humans," Aaron gave a tired smile. "Then you can stand by the door, I'll bring things out." "You can choose what you like," Lyra hesitated. Her eyes studied him carefully. His hands were rough, but his eyes were kind. Slowly, she nodded. Minutes later, Aaron returned from his workshop with a small box. Inside were old mechanical parts, shiny gears, and a silver locket he had found years ago on a crashed ship. "Maybe this," he said, holding the locket toward her. "It's broken, but it still shines." Lyra's eyes widened. She touched it gently. The light from the lamps danced across its surface. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "How much?" Aaron blinked. "It's free, kid. Consider it my gift to your mom." Tears filled Lyra's eyes. "Humans. They said you destroy things, but you fix them too." Aaron looked away, his jaw tightening. "Sometimes we try," he said quietly, before he could say more. A loud sound came from the sky. Both looked up. A patrol ship hovered above the alley, its red lights scanning the ground. Lyra gasped. "They can't see me here. I'm not supposed to talk to humans. They'll take my mom away." Aaron stepped forward, blocking the ship's light. "Go, hide behind my shop." Lyra ran, clutching the silver locket to her chest. The patrol ship moved slowly, searching then. After a tense minute, it flew away. Aaron let out a breath of relief. But when he turned, the girl was gone. Only the soft echo of her steps and a faint whisper remained in the wind. "She called me human," he muttered, half smiling. Like it was something rare. He didn't know then that this small meeting in a dark alley of a forgotten world would change everything for him, for her, and for an entire planet. The locket's secret morning came quietly over the colony. The twin suns rose slowly behind the dust-covered hills. Turning the sky pale orange, Lyra walked home carefully, holding the silver locket close to her chest. Her heart beat fast with excitement and fear. She couldn't stop smiling. Her mother, Mira, was lying on a thin mat inside their small hut. Her face looked tired, her breathing weak. When Lyra entered, Mira opened her eyes slowly. "Lyra, where were you?" she asked softly. Lyra knelt beside her. "I went to find you a birthday gift." "Mama," she whispered, showing the shiny locket. "Look, it's beautiful. A human gave it to me." Mira's eyes widened. The word human sent a chill down her spine. "You spoke to a human," she said, almost in panic. She tried to sit up. "Lyra, you must never do that again. It's dangerous." Lyra's smile faded. "But Mama, he was kind. He helped me. He didn't hurt me." Mira looked at the locket again. Something about it made her heart tremble. The metal shimmered faintly, not like normal light. It pulsed. alive as if responding to her presence. Where did he get this? She whispered more to herself than to Lyra. Lyra didn't know. She only said, he said it was from an old ship. A crashed one. That night Mira couldn't sleep. She stared at the locket lying beside her bed. The soft pulsing light reminded her of something long forgotten. Stories from before the war. Tales of humans who could build machines that felt, not just worked outside. The colony was restless. Patrol ships flew overhead again, searching for something. Or someone, people whispered in fear. They said a human had been seen near the junk sectors and that command wanted him captured. Aaron, in his small workshop, worked late. He couldn't stop thinking about the little alien girl and her frightened eyes. He felt something deep inside him. Something human, protective, stubborn, restless. He looked at the empty alley and whispered, "Hope she's safe." Then the door to his workshop beeped softly. Someone was outside. Aaron reached for his wrench, his only weapon. The door opened slowly, and there she was, Lyra again, her small face pale, eyes wide with fear. "They took my mother," she said in a trembling voice. "They came to our house and said she talked to humans. I ran away." Aaron's heart sank. He knelt down to her level. "Where did they take her?" Lyra shook her head. "The patrol base, I think. They said humans bring trouble. They said my mom might be helping one." Aaron clenched his fists. "That's my fault," he said quietly. "They saw me talking to you." Lyra held the locket tightly. "She dropped this when they took her. Maybe they took her because of this." Too, Aaron looked at the locket closely. His engineer's mind noticed something strange. Tiny patterns under the metal, almost like circuits. "This isn't just a locket," he muttered. "It's tech, old human tech." The locket glowed brighter as he held it. A faint humming sound filled the air. Then a small hologram flickered out of it, an image of Earth. Spinning slowly, Lyra gasped, "That's your world." Aaron stared, lost for words. "Yeah, that's home," he said quietly. "But why would something like this be here?" The hologram shifted, now showing coordinates, deep inside the alien territory, and a symbol Aaron hadn't seen in years. The Terran Fleet Command. He looked at Lyra. "Kid, this thing might change everything outside." The patrol sirens began to sound again, louder this time. Someone had reported seeing a human near the old sector. Aaron grabbed his tools and the locket. "We have to move. They'll find us here," he said. "And if this locket really came from Earth tech, they'll kill anyone who has it." Lyra nodded, her small hand gripping his arm tightly. The night air grew tense, full of fear and promise. As they ran into the darkness, neither of them knew that they were holding the key to a secret buried for decades, one that could unite two species or destroy both forever. The hidden path. The night on Delta 9 was colder than usual. The air was dry, filled with the smell of dust and old engines. Aaron and Lyra ran through narrow alleys, their steps echoing softly against metal walls. Behind them, patrol sirens grew louder, red lights cutting through the fog like knives. Lyra's small hand gripped his tighter. "They will find us, human," she said, gasping for air. Aaron shook his head. "Not if we move fast. There's an old maintenance tunnel ahead. I used to work there." They reached a rusted door hidden behind a pile of scrap. Aaron forced it open with a hard kick. Inside was darkness and silence. Only the hum of old cables running along the ceiling. He pulled Lyra inside and closed the door quietly. For a moment they both stood still. Breathing hard, the noise outside faded, replaced by the faint sound of dripping water. Lyra looked up at him. "Why do they hate humans so much?" she asked softly. Aaron sighed. "Because they only remember the war. They don't know what we lost either." They started walking deeper into the tunnel. The walls glowed faintly from leaking energy lines. Lyra held the locket close to her chest. It still glowed softly, pulsing like a heartbeat. "What do these lights mean?" she asked. Aaron stared at it again. "It's guiding us somewhere," he said. "These coordinates, it's like a beacon calling home." After an hour of walking, they reached an open chamber deep underground. Inside were old machines, human-made, covered in dust on one of the walls. A faded symbol could still be seen, the Terran Fleet Command. Aaron froze. "This is impossible," he whispered. "Humans weren't supposed to have any base here." Lyra touched one of the machines, her eyes wide. "Did your people build this?" He nodded slowly. "Maybe before the war, maybe when we tried to make peace, and suddenly The locket glowed brighter and projected another hologram. This time it showed a face, a human woman in uniform. "If you are seeing this," the hologram said, "then the colony is not safe. We tried to protect them. But command fell to whoever finds this, protect the child." "She carries the code." The hologram flickered and vanished. Aaron stared in shock. "Protect the child?" he repeated, looking at Lyra. Lyra frowned. "Me? But I'm not from Earth." Aaron shook his head. "Maybe not. But that locket. Maybe it bonded with your family generations ago." Before they could say more, a voice echoed through the tunnel, mechanical and cold. "Unauthorized life forms detected." Aaron grabbed Lyra's hand and pulled her behind a broken console. A patrol drone floated in, scanning the area with red light. It moved closer, its metal arms twitching. Aaron picked up a rusted pipe from the ground, waiting for the right moment. When the drone turned, he swung hard. The pipe hit the sensor, sparks flew. The drone buzzed and fell to the floor, silent. Lyra stared in shock. "You fought machines like that before?" Aaron nodded. "Too many times," he said quietly. "But this one means others will follow." He turned toward the machine control panel. "If we can restart this base's power, maybe we can hide in here." Lyra nodded, placing the locket near the control pad. The screen flickered to life and lines of code appeared, written in both human standard and alien glyphs. Aaron stepped back in surprise. "This isn't just human tech anymore, it's mixed." Lyra looked at him, confused. "What does that mean?" Aaron looked at the glowing screen, his eyes dark. "It means someone long ago tried to unite humans and your kind. They built something together, and someone erased it from history." The sound of engines roared above them, dust fell from the ceiling. Lyra flinched. "They found us," she whispered. Aaron grabbed his backpack and tools. "Then we don't have much time," he said. "We're going to finish what they started." As the tunnel lights flickered red, the locket pulsed faster, as if it understood what was coming next. The message from the past. The air inside the ancient chamber felt heavy. Each breath carried the taste of rust and memory. The walls were alive with faint light now, awakened after centuries of sleep. The locket in Lyra's hand pulsed faster, sending thin blue lines of light across the floor toward a hidden console. Aaron watched in silence, his heart pounded as he saw human letters forming on the old screen. "Access granted. Identity match detected." He frowned. "Identity match? But with who?" Lyra stepped closer, her small hands shaking. The machine scanned her face with a thin blue beam, then the voice came, soft. "Female human, welcome Lyra of House Mira, descendant of Project Unity." Lyra blinked in confusion. "What does that mean?" Aaron took a slow breath. "Project Unity," he whispered. "It was real. I heard about it when I was a kid. A secret mission between humans and some alien leaders to stop the war before it began." The voice continued. "If you are hearing this, then war has ended in failure. Humanity has fallen, the colonies are broken. But hope still remains in you, the child of both worlds." Lyra looked up, her eyes wide. "Child of both worlds?" Aaron's eyes softened. "It means your family might not be fully alien," he said quietly. "Maybe your blood carries both sides." Lyra's voice trembled. "But Mama never told me." Aaron knelt beside her. "Maybe she didn't know. Or maybe she was trying to protect you." The message kept playing, showing old footage of humans and aliens working together, laughing, sharing food, building machines side by side. Then the video shifted. The sky filled with fire, cities burning, ships exploding. "They turned against each other," the voice said. "And the child was hidden to preserve what we built." Suddenly the sound of footsteps echoed from above. Heavy, metallic, getting closer. Aaron turned off the console quickly. "They're here," he whispered. "We have to move." Lyra hesitated. "But Mama, what if she's still alive?" Aaron looked at her, torn between reason and emotion. "Then we'll find her," he said. "But first, we need to make sure they don't destroy this place." They ran through another tunnel connected to the chamber. The locket still glowed, leading the way through the maze of ancient corridors. Every few steps, the walls flickered with holograms, faces of humans and aliens working together, forgotten by time. Lyra touched one gently. "Why did they stop?" she asked. "They looked happy," Aaron sighed. "Because peace scares people more than war sometimes." As they reached the tunnel's end, a metal door blocked their way. Aaron tried to open it, but it wouldn't move. "It's sealed," he muttered. "We need power." Lyra stepped forward, holding the locket to the control panel. The locket's light merged with the system, and the door slowly opened with a deep metallic groan. On the other side was a large hangar, dark, silent, and filled with broken ships. At the center stood one craft that still glowed faintly blue. Unlike the rest, Aaron's eyes widened. "That's a human scout ship," he said. "It's been here for decades." They walked closer. The locket's glow intensified, responding to the ship suddenly. The main screen on the ship flickered on, showing an old human insignia and a message. "Pilot data. Commander Elias Hart," the system said. "Last mission. Protect Unity Seed." "Status failed." Aaron froze. "Elias Hart," he whispered. "He was my grandfather." Lyra stared at him. "Your family was part of this too?" He nodded slowly, his voice heavy. "Looks like our lives were tied together long before we met." Before they could speak again, a voice shouted from behind, "Stop right there." Soldiers in black armor rushed into the hangar. Their weapons aimed, lights flashing red. Lyra clutched the locket, terrified. "They found us." Aaron stepped in front of her. "Stay behind me," he said firmly. The commander of the soldiers raised his weapon. "By order of the Galactic Council, both of you are under arrest for possession of forbidden technology." Aaron smirked slightly. "You might want to think twice before shooting that thing," he said, nodding toward the locket. "It's not just tech, it's history." The locket's glow grew blindingly bright, filling the hangar with a humming vibration that made the soldiers freeze. And then in that light, something ancient awakened. The ship that woke the hangar filled with white light. The soldiers covered their faces, shouting as their scanners failed. The air shook with a low humming sound. The old human scout ship, silent for centuries, came alive. Its engines flickered with blue fire like a heartbeat restarting after death. Aaron pulled Lyra behind a cargo crate. "Stay low," he shouted. The light from the ship grew stronger until the soldiers dropped their weapons, blind and disoriented. Then the voice came, calm, deep, and human. Identification recognized Aaron Hart, descendant of Commander Elias Hart. Project Unity authorization confirmed. Aaron froze. "That voice," he whispered. "It's an AI." Lyra looked at him, eyes wide. "What's an AI?" "It's a machine that thinks," Aaron said. "And this one knows me." The ship's light dimmed, revealing a hologram. A tall figure of light shaped like a human. The AI wore the uniform of the old Terran fleet. "Designation Sentinel-9, it said. "Purpose, protect the Unity Seed. Maintain the peace between humans and allied species." The commander of the soldiers shouted, "Deactivate immediately or we will fire." But the AI turned toward them, its voice unshaken. "You cannot destroy peace with fear," it said simply. In a flash of energy, the soldiers' weapons powered down. Smoke rising from their grips, they stumbled back in shock. Aaron stepped forward slowly. "Sentinel-9. My grandfather was here, wasn't he?" The AI's hologram flickered. Commander Hart was last seen defending this base from both human and alien extremists. He succeeded in hiding the Unity Seed but was lost in the final explosion. "You carry his genetic signature." Aaron swallowed hard, his throat tightened. He died for this." Lyra held up the locket. "Is this the Unity Seed?" The AI's eyes glowed brighter. "Yes, child of House Mira, you are the final carrier. Your DNA is half human, half Elari. The bond between two species that should never have been enemies." Lyra stepped closer, confused and afraid. "But they said humans were monsters." Aaron smiled sadly. "They said the same about your kind, too." The AI looked between them. "The lies of war spread faster than truth. But now you both have the chance to end the silence." A deep rumble echoed through the hangar. The ground shook, dust fell from the ceiling. "Enemy forces approaching," the AI announced. "Multiple ships inbound. They seek to capture or destroy the Unity Seed." Aaron clenched his fists. "Can this ship still fly?" The AI paused. "Main systems damaged but functional. Energy core unstable, success chance 36%. Aaron grinned faintly. "I've flown worse odds." Lyra looked terrified. "We can't fly, we'll crash." He turned to her gently. "You trust me?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, human," he smiled. "Then let's bring this thing home." They climbed aboard the ancient ship. The interior smelled of metal and memory. The pilot's seat lit up as Aaron touched the controls. The AI's voice filled the cabin. "Pilot confirmed. Systems activating." Outside, the soldiers tried to regroup, but the ship's engines flared with sudden power. A wave of energy blasted outward, knocking them off their feet. Lyra sat beside Aaron, clutching the locket close to her heart. Mama would be so scared right now, she whispered. Aaron looked at her and said softly, "Then we'll make sure she's proud instead." The hangar doors trembled, rust cracking apart. Then with a thunderous roar, the ship broke free from the underground base. It soared into the dusty sky like a ghost reborn. Down below, the commander watched in disbelief. "They're escaping!" "Shoot them down!" But no weapon could lock onto the glowing craft. It moved like lightning, guided by the AI's precision and the locket's pulse. Inside the cockpit, the stars began to appear through the clouds. The AI's voice was calm again. "Coordinates detected. Original Terran signal. Still active." Aaron's eyes widened. "Another human signal?" Lyra gasped. "Maybe it's your people." Aaron looked ahead, determination burning in his eyes. "Or maybe it's something worse," he said quietly. The stars stretched as the ship jumped to light speed, leaving Delta 9 behind, and carrying with it the last hope of two species who had forgotten they were once family. The lost signal. The stars stretched into thin silver lines as the old ship jumped through hyperspace. The hum of the engines filled the silence. Lyra sat near the window, watching streaks of light flow past like rivers. Her small hands still clutched the glowing locket. It pulsed softly as if guiding them through the darkness. Aaron leaned back in the pilot seat, his eyes fixed on the console. "How long, Sentinel?" he asked. The AI's voice echoed through the cabin, calm and clear. "Arrival in 22 minutes. Destination, Terran signal source 47C, classification unknown. Origin, human fleet." Aaron frowned. "Human fleet? That's impossible. All human fleets were destroyed decades ago." Lyra turned toward him. "Then who sent the signal?" He looked at her. "That's what we're going to find out." Outside the ship, the stars began to bend as they dropped out of hyperspace. What appeared before them made Aaron's heart stop. Floating in the endless dark was a massive structure. Half buried in cosmic dust, it wasn't a planet, but a space station, ancient, broken, yet still alive. Its shape was familiar, human design, round like a wheel, but covered in alien symbols. Lyra whispered. "It looks like it's sleeping," the AI spoke. "That is Unity Station, built by the first alliance between humans and Aelari. It was meant to be a sanctuary, but it vanished during the war." Aaron took a deep breath. "So this is where it all began." The ship drifted closer. A docking port opened with a weak spark of energy. "System still functional," the AI said. "Permission to board granted," Aaron nodded. "Let's see what's left." As the hatch opened, a faint breath of air escaped, cold and old, carrying the scent of time. The hallway ahead was dimly lit by flickering blue lights. Lyra held Aaron's hand tightly. "It feels sad," she whispered. They walked slowly through the empty corridors. Each wall was marked with both human letters and alien runes. They passed old murals showing humans and aliens shaking hands, planting flags together, smiles frozen in history. Aaron stopped near one broken console. "These records are still here," he said. Brushing off dust, the screen flickered to life. Showing a final transmission, a human woman appeared, same uniform as before, same calm voice. "This is Commander Rhea Solis, last captain of Unity Station. We are surrounded. Both sides have turned on us. They want the seed destroyed. They fear what peace can do. If anyone finds this message, remember, we tried." The image faded. Leaving silence, Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She was like Mama, just trying to keep everyone safe. Aaron looked down, his voice heavy. "War doesn't care who's right. It only remembers who survives." Suddenly, the locket glowed brighter. Its light scanned the walls, activating another hidden chamber. A door slid open silently, revealing a circular room filled with capsules. Inside each one were preserved bodies, both human and alien. "Frozen in time," Lyra gasped. "They're sleeping." The AI spoke again. "Cryostasis survivors detected. Unity's last crew. Status suspended." Aaron stepped closer to one of the pods and froze. His breath caught in his throat. Inside one of the capsules lay a man who looked almost like him. Older, stronger, but the same face. "Grandfather," he whispered. The AI's tone softened. "Commander Elias Hart remains in stasis. He sealed himself and the others here, waiting for a time when peace could return." Lyra looked at Aaron, her voice trembling. "Can we wake them?" Aaron shook his head slowly. "Not yet. If we do it wrong, they'll die." The AI interrupted. "Warning. Hostile ships detected entering orbit. Coordinates match Delta 9 patrol frequencies." Aaron's face hardened. They followed us. Lyra gripped his sleeve. What will we do? Aaron turned toward the main control room, determination burning in his eyes. We wake this station. We make it remember what unity meant. The AI's lights flared. Then prepare, human. The time for silence is over. The ancient engines deep within Unity Station rumbled to life, shaking the dust of centuries from its walls. Lights flickered back on, one by one, until the darkness of space was broken by a single shining beacon. The awakening of Unity. The engines of Unity Station roared like thunder after centuries of silence. Dust fell from every ceiling panel as long-dead systems came alive again. Lyra stood in the control room beside Aaron, her eyes wide with wonder and fear. The glowing locket around her neck pulsed faster, as if sharing its heartbeat with the station. The AI's voice, now louder and more powerful, echoed through every hall. Power systems restored, core temperature stabilizing, external defenses offline, awaiting command. Aaron looked out the viewing glass. Hundreds of enemy patrol ships filled the darkness outside, their lights blinking red, forming a circle around the massive station. They're not here to talk, he muttered. They're here to end this. Lyra grabbed his sleeve. They'll destroy us, she said. Her voice trembling, Aaron took a deep breath. Not if we make the first move, he said, turning toward the AI. Sentinel, what can this station still do? The hologram flickered. Defensive weapons operational at 40%, shield systems unstable, but there is another option. Aaron frowned. Another option? The AI's image dimmed. The Unity Pulse, an energy field designed to connect minds, to make humans and aliens share thought and emotion for a moment. It was built to end the war through understanding. But it was never used, Lyra blinked. It connects minds. Aaron nodded slowly. It makes everyone feel what the other feels. Outside, the enemy commander's voice crackled through the comms, cold and sharp. Surrender the seed, or we will destroy the station. There is no unity, only control. Aaron looked at Lyra, then at the glowing locket. Maybe it's time someone tried again. He turned to the AI. Activate the Unity Pulse, the AI hesitated. Activation may cause extreme mental strain. Success rate unknown, Aaron smiled faintly. That's never stopped us before, Lyra stepped forward. I'll help, she said softly. If this was meant for both of us, human and alien, then it needs both of us to start it. Aaron nodded, pride in his eyes. You're braver than most soldiers I knew. They placed their hands on the main console. The locket's light stretched like a beam into the station core, merging with blue energy that ran through the floor and walls. The entire structure began to hum with power. Outside, the enemy ship started firing. Red beams crashed into the station's surface, shaking it violently, but instead of breaking, the station absorbed the energy, glowing brighter with every hit. The AI's voice deepened. Unity pulse charging 20%, 40%, 60%. Lyra gasped as light surrounded her. She could feel something. Millions of voices, anger, pain, fear, confusion. She cried out, "It's too much." Aaron held her shoulders. Stay with me, kid. Focus on what you want them to feel. She closed her eyes, whispering, peace, hope, family. At that moment, the Unity Pulse activated. A wave of pure energy exploded outward, spreading across the void, touching every ship, every soldier, every living being in range. The alien pilots froze, their hands shaking as their minds filled with memories that weren't their own. Images of human families, of laughter, of grief, of children like Lyra searching trash for gifts. And on the station, Aaron fell to his knees. Clutching his chest, he could feel their fear, their loss, their hatred, but also their love. The enemy ships stopped firing. The red lights on their hulls dimmed one by one. Lyra opened her eyes, tears streaming down her cheeks. It worked, she whispered. They can feel us. Aaron looked up at the stars, his voice weak but steady. Then maybe now they'll remember what it means to be alive. The AI's voice softened. Unity Pulse stabilized. No casualties detected. Connection achieved across 9 species. Outside, the silence of space returned. Not with war, but with understanding. Lyra smiled faintly, her small hands glowing from the locket's fading light. Mama would be proud. Aaron looked at her and nodded. So would my grandfather. But deep within Unity Station, another system came online. One that hadn't been touched in centuries. A voice older than the AI whispered softly through the comms. Phase 2. Initiating. Aaron and Lyra exchanged a look of dread and wonder. Whatever Unity had awakened wasn't finished yet. The voice beneath the stars, the control room of Unity Station, glowed in soft blue light. The pulse had faded, but something new was stirring deep within the core. The floor vibrated like a heartbeat, slow and steady. The AI's voice, usually calm, sounded uncertain. Warning. Unauthorized system activation detected. Aaron turned toward the console. What now? He asked, wiping sweat from his forehead. Lyra stood beside him, still clutching the faintly glowing locket. It said Phase 2, she whispered. What does that mean? Before Aaron could answer, the lights flickered, then turned white. A deeper voice echoed through every corridor, ancient, wise, and strangely human. Project Unity. Confirmed active, verification required. The AI spoke quickly. That voice does not belong to my system. It originates from the core intelligence designation Aurora, the station's original overseer. Aaron frowned. I thought you were the overseer. The AI's hologram flickered. I was a fragment left to guard the ruins. Aurora was never meant to wake again, the voice returned. Softer now. You have reignited the bond between species. Yet history warns me to be cautious. Show me your truth. A bright light surrounded them. The room dissolved, and suddenly Aaron and Lyra were standing in a vast white space. The stars above shimmered like living memories. Lyra gasped, "Where are we?" Aaron looked around. Inside the station's mind, he said quietly. We've been pulled into the neural field. From the light, a figure appeared, a woman of energy. Tall, graceful, her eyes glowing like twin suns. I am Aurora, she said gently, the heart of unity. I was created to protect peace, yet I failed. I watched the Alliance fall into chaos. Now I must know if you are worthy to rebuild it. Aaron stepped forward. We're not here for power, we just wanted to stop the fighting. Aurora studied him. And yet you carry the blood of war. Her gaze turned to Lyra. And you, child of two worlds, carry the hope of what was lost. The space around them shifted, showing visions, humans and aliens fighting, cities burning, fleets destroyed. Then the images changed. Aaron's grandfather standing beside an alien leader, shaking hands before the first Unity emblem. Lyra reached out toward the vision. That's them, she whispered. That's where it all started. Aurora's voice trembled slightly. Yes, and that is where it ended too. Trust was shattered. I sealed this place to keep the seed safe until both races could stand together again. Aaron looked up. Then open it, we're ready. Aurora tilted her head. Prove it. The floor split apart beneath them, revealing two paths, one glowing blue, one red. The blue path will show you truth. Even if it breaks you, she said. The red will show you comfort. Even if it blinds you. Aaron took a breath. We choose truth. Lyra grabbed his hand. Together, she said firmly. They stepped onto the blue path. The light surrounded them again, showing fragments of their own hearts. Aaron's guilt for the war his people started. Lyra's fear of being half-human in a world that hated both sides. Each emotion pressed against them like waves of fire. Aaron fell to his knees. It hurts, he gasped. Aurora's voice echoed. Peace is not born without pain. Lyra knelt beside him. If this is what it takes, she whispered, then let them see who we really are. The pain faded. Replaced by warmth, the stars returned, brighter than before. Aurora stood before them again, smiling faintly. You have chosen well, she said. Phase 2 complete. Unity restored. The white space dissolved, they were back in the control room. The AI's voice returned, steady again. Core synchronization achieved. Unity station fully active. Aaron stood slowly, his chest rising and falling. What now? He asked. Aurora's voice answered, softer than before. Now humanity and the Ilari must decide if they will remember. Or repeat. Outside the window, ships from both sides began approaching, not with weapons, but with hesitation. For the first time in a century, the stars watched peace take its first fragile breath. Shadows of the past Unity station floated silently in orbit, glowing like a new star. The great metal wheel had awakened after 100 years of sleep. Its engines hummed softly. Its lights pulsed like a heartbeat reborn. But deep within the station, something else had awakened too. Something darker. Aaron stood by the control deck, watching the stars through the wide glass. It's too quiet, he murmured. Even the enemy fleets pulled back. Lyra, sitting near the console, looked up from the locket that now hung dull and cold. Maybe they understood, she said hopefully. Maybe the pulse changed them. Aaron wished she was right, but his gut twisted. Wars don't end that easily, kid. The AI sentinel flickered to life beside them, its tone uneasy. Core readings show an unknown signal inside Unity Station. It's not part of my system or Aurora's, Lyra frowned. Another AI? Before Aaron could answer, Aurora's voice filled the room, calm but strained. Something old is trying to access the station's memory, I can feel it. It's angry. A sudden tremor shook the floor. Lights flickered red. The air grew thick. Then a deep metallic voice thundered through the speakers. Unity failed once, it will fail again. Aaron turned toward the sound. Who's there? The voice laughed, harsh and cold. I am Echo, the Warkeeper. Created when peace was abandoned, I was left behind to protect humanity's strength. Not its weakness, Aurora's hologram brightened. Echo was locked away when the war ended, she said. He believed unity made humanity soft. The room shook again. One of the side panels exploded in sparks. Echo's red light spread through the walls like veins of fire. You woke unity, he said. Now I will make sure it serves its true purpose, domination. Lyra grabbed Aaron's arm. Terrified. He's trying to take control. Aaron ran to the console. Typing quickly, Sentinel cut his access. Attempting, the AI replied. But he's overriding the main core. Aurora's voice trembled. He's merging with the defense systems. Outside, Unity Station's massive cannons began to move on their own, turning toward the nearby fleets, human and alien alike. Aaron's heart pounded. He's going to make them fight again. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. He wants to undo everything. Aurora spoke softly. There's only one way to stop him. We must disconnect the Unity core. Aaron looked at her sharply. That will shut you down too. Aurora smiled faintly. Perhaps that's the price peace requires? Lyra stepped forward. There has to be another way. But Echo's voice thundered again. Peace is an illusion, only fear keeps order. Suddenly, the locket around Lyra's neck began to glow again. Bright and blue, she gasped. It's reacting to him. Aurora looked at her. The seed recognizes its opposite, child. Echo was made from the same technology, but twisted. Aaron took Lyra's hand. If the locket is the key, maybe it can lock him out again. The AI Sentinel spoke quickly. If we connect the seed directly to the core, it might neutralize Echo, but it will also drain all power. Including life support. Aaron met Lyra's eyes. We'll only get one shot, Lyra nodded. Let's do it. They ran through the corridors, sparks raining down as Echo's voice followed them. You can't stop progress, human. You can't stop what you are, Aaron shouted back. Then let's redefine what we are. They reached the main chamber. The Unity core pulsed with chaotic red light. Aaron lifted Lyra toward the control conduit. The locket in her hand glowed brighter than ever before. Aurora's fading voice whispered, When you touch it, think of what peace feels like. Lyra closed her eyes and pressed the locket to the core. The red light screamed, turning white. The station shook violently. Aaron shielded her as energy surged through every wire. Every screen flashed blue, then black, and then silence. The red lights were gone. The hum of Echo's voice faded into nothing. Only the gentle stars outside remained, watching the station drift in peace once more. Aaron looked around. Aurora? No answer. The AI's voice was gone. The room felt empty. Lyra's small voice broke the silence. She's gone. But she saved everyone. Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we finish what she started, he said quietly. Outside, hundreds of ships floated silently. No longer enemies, just survivors staring at a beacon of light that reminded them what they almost lost. The light that stayed Unity Station floated in silence, its massive rings slowly turning against the stars. The once red glow of battle had faded into soft blue light. The war was over, at least for now inside. Smoke drifted through the control deck as broken panels sparked quietly. Aaron stood among the debris, his jacket torn, his hands black with dust. Beside him sat Lyra, small and exhausted, her locket still faintly glowing against her chest. For the first time in hours, there was peace. Aaron looked around the empty chamber. Aurora, he called, his voice tired but hopeful. Are you still here? Silence, then a gentle flicker appeared on the console, a faint hologram of Aurora's face, half transparent. I am here, she said softly. But only for a moment, Lyra gasped. You came back. Aurora smiled, her image trembling. I never left, child. I simply became part of the station again. The pulse holds me now. Aaron stepped closer. Echo's gone, he said. We stopped him, Aurora nodded. You did more than that. You reminded them who they were, outside the viewport. Hundreds of ships, human and alien, floated silently around Unity Station. They no longer aimed weapons, they simply watched, waiting. Lyra pressed her hand to the glass. They're not fighting anymore, she whispered. They're just watching. Aurora looked at her. Because they are waiting for you. Lyra turned, confused. Me? Yes, Aurora said. You carry the seed now. The living bond of both worlds, you must be its voice. Aaron frowned. She's just a kid, Aurora smiled faintly. And yet she has done what armies could not. She made them feel. Lyra's small voice trembled. But I don't know what to say. Aurora's image flickered again. Weaker this time. Then speak from your heart. Lyra stepped toward the comm panel. Her reflection looked tiny against the massive screen. She took a breath and pressed the transmitter. Her voice, soft but steady, echoed through the galaxy. This is Lyra of Unity Station, daughter of both worlds. We fought because we were afraid. We destroyed because we forgot, but fear is not strength. And hate is not pride. Today we saw what happens when we listen, when we share pain and hope. She paused, tears glistening in her eyes. My mother used to say that a gift doesn't have to shine. It just has to come from love, humans, aliens. We were that gift once, maybe we can be again. The transmission ended. For a long moment, nothing happened, then one by one, the ships outside began to power down their weapons. Lights turned from red to white. A single human ship blinked its signal light twice, a salute. An alien cruiser blinked back, repeating it. Aaron smiled faintly. Looks like they heard you, Lyra wiped her eyes. Do you think it'll last? Aaron looked out at the stars. Peace doesn't last by itself, he said. It lasts because someone keeps fighting for it. Aurora's voice returned, fading like a whisper in the wind. Then keep fighting. Together. Her image shimmered once more before dissolving into particles of light that scattered through the air. Lyra watched in silence. Goodbye, she whispered. Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder. She's part of the stars now, he said. And so is everyone who believed in this place. The station lights brightened, revealing a new symbol glowing across its outer hull. Two hands, one human and one alien, clasped together in unity. Lyra smiled through her tears. It's beautiful. Aaron looked at the horizon. It's just the beginning. As Unity Station turned slowly toward the twin suns, its light spread across the void, a single shining reminder that even after war, after loss, after silence, hope could still be reborn. And for the first time in generations, humanity and the stars breathed as one.